All right, I'm Hannah Huffiness, and I will be pitching my business Sweet Bites. A few things may come to your mind when you hear the word gluten-free, but usually delicious is not one of them. I want to change that. In comes Sweet Bites, a full-range mobile bakery dedicated to serving gluten-free goods that taste so good, no one will care whether they do or do not have gluten. Now is a great time to launch because gluten-free has taken the market by storm the last few years. 11% of US homes purchase gluten-free goods. In 2013, gluten-free sales totaled $10.5 billion and are estimated to grow to $15 billion by 2016. 20 million people in the United States suffer from celiac disease or gluten intolerance, which dictates that they use a gluten-free diet. But the target market for gluten-free is upwards of 44 million. In Nashville, 5 of the 6 gluten-free eateries have opened within the last 4 years. 3 of them are seasonal. Sweet Bites has 2 different kinds of competitors, gluten-free only bakeries and bakeries that serve some gluten-free. Compared to gluten-free only bakeries, Sweet Bites can provide a visible location. As I said, 3 of the gluten-free bakeries are only seasonal and 4 of them do not have any visible storefront. A broader selection from the typical cupcakes and muffins to bagels and breads, and gluten-free certification. Currently, there are no gluten-free certified bakeries in Tennessee. They are only gluten-free dedicated. I would like to be the first certified bakery. Compared to bakeries that only offer some gluten-free items, I can offer specialization, consistent quality and taste, a broader selection, and safety from cross-contamination. Sweet Bites is already experiencing success, catering events, personal orders, and at various markets. Next for Sweet Bites, I would like to I would like to overhaul the website design for better comprehension and user-friendliness. I would like to begin the crowdfunding process, complete the gluten-free kitchen certification, solidify my starting product line, ensure the proper permits and licenses, and decide on all my suppliers. The projected launch for Sweet Bites is 2016 September. Total projected sales for the first year are $154,000 with a gross margin of $97,000. I would like to launch Sweet Bites as a mobile bakery versus a brick-and-mortar storefront. It offers a visible location, a memorable appearance, and flexibility without the higher overhead costs of a brick-and-mortar storefront. Food trucks nationwide grossed $804 million in 2013 with a 12.4% growth rate in the last 5 years. Nashville itself is a very food truck-friendly city with the Nashville Food Truck Association membering 36 different eateries. I would like to have different circuits in farmers markets, parks, shopping centers, schools, and at various festivals. I would also like to have my products in different coffee shops, cafes, as well as continuing personal orders and catering events. For me, it's all about better serving the customer. This is a review from a regular customer I had over the summer. Teresa had been gluten-free for 13 years, and as she says in the as she says in her review, what she's had from me is better than any commercial gluten-free snack she's ever tried. For me, enjoying food is such an important experience that I don't want anyone to feel deprived because of what their diet dictates. So Sweet Bites will be dedicated to serving gluten-free goods that are good in and of themselves instead of good for gluten-free. You can contact us at sweetbitesbakes.com and on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm Hannah Huffiness, and thank you for listening to my pitch. Any questions? Oh.
So you talked about your distribution and
Yes.
retail outlets.
Mm-hmm.
Do you view this as a packaged good where its shelf life is a little longer, or something where it's delivered fresh and it maybe stays on the shelf for a day or
Yeah, I see it as being a fresh good that would be delivered either every day or every other day. That's what a lot of coffee shops and restaurants do right now when they have outsiders deliver products.
What's the market size within driving distance of your food truck?
That has been a little bit harder for me to place. Right now, where the gluten-free bakeries are already located is West Nashville and kind of like in Midtown, where I would like to be more towards East Nashville. East Nashville is kind of where the food trends are going on anyway, so I would like to be located in that area.
What percentage of sales do you anticipate funneling through existing bakeries or other
I foresee about 20%, 15 to 20%. Most of it will be through the mobile truck. I'm planning on having that out about 4 days a year. Oh, yeah, of course. I would like to do advertising heavily through the internet and social media, but I would also like to use ads in magazines, specifically like Nashville Scene, and on the radio like Lightning 100.
Anna, what is your passion? How did your passion come about for this?
About a year and a half ago, some doctors suspected that I had a gluten intolerance, and they suggested for a month that I cut out all gluten from my diet, which was crazy for me. My family loves bread and we love pasta, so at first I was a little bit depressed about it. So I started to revamp my recipes and shift towards a gluten-free focus. I ended up not having an intolerance, but so many people had come to me excited that I had begun specializing in gluten-free that I decided to continue in that line.
That's a compelling part of the pitch. I would include that.
Okay. Yeah, certainly. All right, any other questions? All right, thank you so much.
Zarina Gumbatova, and I'm a founder of Zarina Boutique. Zarina Boutique is a place where my customers can shop for unique designs mixed with ethnic patterns and experience an exceptional customer service. As a student from Uzbekistan, which is a third world country, it was sad for me to see women from underprivileged families struggle because of the lack of government support. And that motivated me to think of the ways to help those women. And when I came to America, I was amazed to see a lot of opportunities here to help people around. And that developed my passion to help people even more. Another my passion has always been art, fashion, design, and those are some of my works that I've done during some of my classes here. And that inspired me to combine two of my passions together and open a clothing boutique that will sell a great product and also will help women in the community. I have a friend who is a winner of a prestigious beauty pageant, but despite that, she still feels insecure about the way she looks. According to the statistics, about 90% of women are not satisfied with the way they look. And therefore, my boutique's mission statement is to boost women's self-esteem by providing a unique mix of stylish outfits. Because it is very important for a woman to look good, and if she looks good, she feels good and confident, which will tremendously help her in her professional, social, and personal life. This is a sample of the product that I envision selling in my boutique, which will be very trendy, comfortable, stylish, also very versatile and of a good quality. Besides that, to add some uniqueness to my boutique, I would like to use the iCat pattern, which is a traditional pattern in my culture and also in nearby Central Asian cultures. That will bring the variety of the product and also the uniqueness of the boutique. The social mission of my boutique is to create job opportunities for women from underprivileged families who are struggling to provide for their families. And also, I would like to use my story to inspire women to pursue their dreams, to believe in themselves, and strive for success. Some competitors that I have today are nationally and internationally known. However, the variety of the product, the mission statement, and the exceptional customer service of my boutique will be my competitive advantage. My target market are millennials, young professionals, fashion followers, and moms. For marketing, I plan to use several strategies, such as in-store promotions, where I will be educating my customers about my product and our social mission. And also, I plan to use social media, website, my personal connections, personal story, and also the word of mouth from our customers. Zarina Boutique, it is more than just clothes. Thank you. Well, I would like to start with the brick-and-mortar boutique here in Nashville and also launch a website to reach the customers from different states. And as the business grows, I would like to, of course, launch more boutiques in Nashville area and then in other states.
Have you got a place you're going to put this in?
I'm thinking, I think it is important to have a walking area so that when customers walk, they can easily stop by and shop. And I think Green Hills area would be one of those places. And also I was thinking about East Nashville.
Do you have a manufacturer, I don't know what you call it, but the producer of clothing in mind to create that? I know you're doing designs on that.
I would like to, well, since I'm a startup, I would like to work with some manufacturers. There are about more than 7,000 in the States, and I would like to research them more and see the styles for my target market. I haven't chosen one specifically yet, but I also, as business grows, I would like to design some of my own since I've studied and I have an experience and I know how to do that. Any other questions?
How much does a boutique retail store like this generate in revenue, conceptually in a year?
You know, the financial side is something that I, as a Master of Management student, will study later in spring semester, so I will be able to tell you later.
How did you come about coming to Lipscomb?
Well, it is an interesting story. When I came to the States, I studied in Nebraska for 2 years in a community college, and I've graduated with honors, and I got an All-Nebraska State Award. And I got an email from Lipscomb Admissions offering me a full scholarship based on my grades and my awards. And I came here with my Nebraska mom. We drove 14 hours here from Nebraska just to visit campus, and I really loved it since the beginning. And I love the campus and the environment and people here. And I am very happy that I made that choice because I had several offers. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you so much for your attention.
Riding a bike is like stepping back into your childhood. That wind rushing through your hair, that excitement of seeing if you can go faster than your friend, or ultimately just that feeling of using your muscles to propel this mechanical creation. It's an incredible feeling. It's almost a nostalgic feeling. Let's watch that in action. We have these guys, and they're cruising down this hill, and we know this one up front, his heart's racing, it's beating. Now, whether that's because he's going way too fast down these stairs or because there's a dog behind this fence here that wants to eat him, we might not know. But ultimately, he's out there, he's enjoying it, there's these glorious views, he's with his friends, he's having a great time. But at the end of that day, ultimately, he's going to throw his bike, and he's going to throw it on top of his car, and he's going to start driving home. I promise you, in that moment, he's not thinking about his bike. He's thinking about how great it was, how much fun it was, and that happens. I'm embarrassed to say that happened to me. And out of the dust and, quite frankly, the pain of that experience, my product was born. Allow me to introduce to you CrashGuard. CrashGuard is a revolutionary new product designed to protect against that. Protect your valuables against things like running into the garage, fast food, whatever it may be. Using an ultrasonic sensor and an Arduino ARM controller, I've created a sonar device that allows you as the driver to be warned before you crash into something such as a garage or any other obstacles. As you can tell in this blue projection, it allows any upcoming objects to be notified prior to them colliding with your gear. What started as a dream on paper slowly morphed over the last couple months into a reality. Allow me to present to you my first working prototype. This particular unit I've programmed to detect anything within 5 feet. So when something comes within this pane, it lights up. Now, let's imagine that our friend here who was just driving into his garage would have had CrashGuard protected. Now, as he was pulling in, he would have been notified immediately that there's something on top of his car. All it takes is that 1 second to remember. Once again, he's pulling in, immediate recognition. Now, over the next couple months, I will be building the companion app to my product. What's important about this is, one, you can set the parameters of when you want to be notified. Oh, I'm in my field. you'll be notified when you come within that certain field of what you want to detect. Now, most users will set this as far back as they can, but we still allow the user to have that option. Number two, this is very important because the light's a good demonstration, but ultimately everybody has their phone on them, and that's what really we're going to use as a detection system. That will notify you, it'll make a noise, it'll make a sound that will remind you that you have your bike on top. What's great about my product is that in this field, there are a couple other products, but they are all dependent upon either having a receiver inside of your garage, or they have to program in specifically the various locations that this kind of incident might happen. Mine is unique in that you don't have to have anything on the other end to receive, and it's also, it works everywhere. The biggest problem with the competition is that, one, it's more expensive than my products, and two, it's limited to one or maybe two locations. Family vacation, you never know when you need to pull over, stop inside a parking garage, get some food, any of those various obstacles, and you forget about what's on top of your car. Now, I hope to launch my product by spring of 2015, just in time for the new season of cycling next year. My price point's looking to be $99. That allows me a substantial markup, but that's also about half the price of my closest competitor in terms of an actual product. So I invite all of you to join with me, and let's stop the crash, and let's make some cash. Questions?
You thought about using this for something else besides bikes?
I have. That's one of the fields that I'm really interested in. One of the beauties of my product is it tells you the distance. So one thing that I think would be very viable is, there's a lot of parking assist, things that either hang from your roof or lasers that you mount on your dashboard. This is something you could mount in the front of your garage and on your phone actually see how close you're getting, including, that's partially why I included the customizability of when you want the alarm to sound. You could set it so if you're pulling in your garage, you want it to sound when you're 3 feet from the front. It'll notify you when your car is at that 3-foot mark. You don't even have to look at it. You can have it in your pocket, whatever. It's also a viable asset in terms of parking assist, of backup meters for things like getting to your trailer. Now, a lot of cars have built-in backup cameras, but if you have an older vehicle or anything like that, you could mount this. Either mounting is one of the things I still need to figure out in my product development, but attach it magnetically or anything like that and be able to watch on your phone and see how close you're getting to that device. So there's a couple other avenues in that aspect. Yes, so right now I'm working with Bluetooth LE. That's the one that I found to be the most manageable. It's also the best on battery life.
How does it do going through the metal on top of the car?
So that's yet to be determined. I'm still working on that aspect. I'm hoping to have two forms of notification. One is an outside light that will rest near your windows so that you'll have a visual tactile display in case you're on the phone and you're wondering, man, why is my phone vibrating as you run your bike off the garage? So I like to have a light included in that. The Bluetooth component's the aspect I have not figured out yet. I'm not entirely sure of how well that's going to work or not. With that being said, though, I have an Android smartwatch that runs Bluetooth to my phone. And this will work through any metal devices, especially I can run through my bathroom wall, through everything 5 feet, and still have connectivity on the other side. I have no problems with that going through any of that. So I'm basing it off of my personal experience with this.
Are these walls metal?
Those walls are not, but in terms of in my car, if I'm on the outside of my car or things like that, I still haven't had any issues. So I don't know that that's not going to be a problem, but at the moment I'm hoping it's not.
Yeah, that metal's a particular problem, as you know.
Yeah, and that's, I'm open to options on other ways of either a light on the outside or possibly mounting the sensor in a different location where I can go through glass instead of metal.
I think my question was the same as Scott's. I think it's an interesting piece of technology. You wonder about the market size for people who typically or frequently put things on top of their car and have a garage. It's pretty specific, but there's probably other applications for that that could be really interesting. Create thought into that. Probably a good idea too.
Yeah, and basically a bit about myself of where I came up with this product. Yes, so in high school I coached mountain biking in the summer. That was my summer job. So that is something I'm interested in patenting, is the ability to use ultrasonic. I have not filed for patent. I'd like to in the near future. Snuck that in. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is John Hinger. Unfortunately, due to time, I found out about this competition last week and I finalized it this morning, so I don't have a presentation for you, but I like to think that my idea and my product and the potential will be able to sell itself. So Let me get started with that. I want to start a company, Hinger Hybrid Performance. My passion, I'm actually an engineering student here, and my passion is for automobiles, and particularly the potential of electrical power in automobiles, because over the last 10 years, I'm sure a lot of you have realized hybrids have become increasingly popular. But if you hear the word hybrid, instantly you think efficiency. And I think that's the wrong direction for actual hybrid power to go. What I have noticed is that most technology in the automotive market starts at the top and it works its way down, and it's true in this case. They have hybrid powertrains, but they're in cars that almost nobody can afford. So if I'm somebody who just got my mom's car and I want to make my car faster, I don't have any potential to do that with hybrid powertrains. So that's where my idea comes into play. I want to create a product that uses your engine's power to charge batteries and uses those batteries to run through a controller and charge motors that will drive your wheels. And what this will do, this will actually do quite a few amazing things. One, it will give you a greater efficiency for your gas. You will be able to use more of your gas, get higher gas mileage. Two, it will actually create a safety in the drivetrain, because I can build in to where the motors will actually cut off if the speed of one wheel is too far from the other one. So you will actually have a built-in traction control and also a limited slip potential in here. But the focus of it is going to be the power difference, because what most people don't, if they don't study electrical power, if they don't study automobiles a lot, they don't realize that electrical power, you get a lot more power, a lot more torque, a lot quicker. And that is performance. That's what you want in a car. So what you could do with this is you could actually have, say, 50 horsepower available at any time that you want, because it is electrical. In the computer, you could program it to have it available at the low end, or depending on what your needs are, if you're going to the racetrack, if you want to drive down the interstate, you can have it available at the high end to where you can just cruise. And one of the ways that I've decided to make it more efficient is you can actually have it to where the car will drive on both, where you will have the engine driving and the electrical power will be assisting it. That will give you greater gas mileage and performance. You can have it to where you were just running on the electrical power and the engine itself is idling, just providing power for the electric motors, which would give your gas mileage a significant increase. Now, one of the first things I did when I had this idea, is anything you're going to do when you have an idea, is you're going to research, see what's out there. Originally, when I had this idea, there was nothing except for these high-end cars that cost $1 million. Last week, I did a Google. I found one company that's trying to do something. They don't have a product to market yet. They just have a prototype that they're showcasing. But they're aiming, I think, at the mid to upper range. So they're still aiming far out of reach of most people. My plan is to build one that costs roughly $100 a horsepower, or the $5,000 to $10,000 range. Currently, because of the cost of components and because this is my idea and I was afraid, I didn't know the proper routes to do it, I haven't been able to build a complete prototype. So that's where I'm at in this process, is I need funding to help me be able to build a prototype, to get it on the internet, to get it to the performance car magazines, to get the idea out there that this product exists. And then once I do that, then I can go with the business aspect of it and actually sell it as a product to market. Okay? That's it. Is there any questions? I don't know enough about patents to research to see, but from what I could tell, there was no products on market, and I don't know if that one company has actually patented it yet or not. And their product is actually a limited scope of what mine is. Mine is a broader product than theirs is.
So, does a product like this exist?
No, mine is a more complete. Theirs is actually, theirs is just motors and battery and a charger. Mine is actually that, plus it connects to your engine, runs through a controller, and there's also the potential for auxiliary power, like if you wanted to do a regenerative braking or something like that, you could add to it. But I wanted to build like a relatively cheap, cost-effective bottom-end model that somebody who got their mom's car could actually afford. Correct, a proof of concept and get it out there, yes. Yeah. Well, not necessarily high performance. Right now, if somebody has an old car, either they're going to keep it till it breaks, they're going to fix it up to its factory condition, or they're going to want to make it faster or more unique. And my product would do that last one. It would make the car faster, more unique, and in addition to that perk of making it more fuel efficient and safe. And right now, the only thing that could really do what mine could do in the power range is a turbocharging kit or a supercharging kit, forced induction, and those cost anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 for a kit. So people that would buy that product would be the target market. Honestly, I don't. I really don't. I'm sorry. I know it's huge, but as far as official numbers to sound impressive, I don't have them.
Have you taught John any local car folks or?
The most I've actually done, I'm actually interning with an electrical engineering firm, and he's actually helped guideline my process and to streamline and see what's feasible, what's not, and he actually has connections for a lot of these components. But as far as me being a mechanical engineer, I was actually going to try and design the mechanical aspects of it.
Just a suggestion, there's a library here called Beeman. You might want to try to talk to Lee Beeman.
Okay.
Beeman
Oh.
Automotive.
I didn't know that was related. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Any other questions? All right, thank you for your time.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Hannah Passamonte, and I am the founder and CEO of Haven, and we are in the business of providing underprivileged children with the opportunity to go to school. Living in the Philippines for 8 years taught me enough about the at-risk situation many of the kids on the streets face. And after discovering that it costs only about $30 to send one child to school in the Philippines for a year, I decided to come up with a sponsorship program located on the island of Malapascua 4 years ago. Education is one of those fundamental things that I believe can break the cycle of poverty. And that is what Haven strives to accomplish, one child at a time. By partnering with micro businesses run by those living in poverty, we hope to sponsor the education of kids living on the streets while supporting the local economy and investing in the local economy in the country in which they live. Haven offers a bag with this unique mission in mind. Currently, we are in partnership with Kilos, a foundation that employs 300 women committed to cleaning the streets and sorting bags, sewing, and weaving these bags from the trash that they find on the streets of the Philippines. Over the years, we've supported these women by purchasing their bags in bulk. We then mark up the prices, distribute those throughout the world in different countries, selling them, and then we give the funds that we raise to a local partner on the island, who then purchases the school supplies, school uniforms, and multivitamins for the kids at the beginning of each school year. So because of this, we are now sponsoring 106 of the most underprivileged kids on this particular island for the past 4 years. Right now, we've been selling on an individual basis, so mostly through word of mouth, family, friends. However, my hope is that we enter into different sales channels, mainly focusing on internet and retail. This in order to reach our customers better and support more communities, provide more education for kids, and ultimately provide like a broader product line. Currently, as the only Haven team member, I want to keep low overhead, so I don't want to hire any employees just yet. Eventually, though, outsourcing for the fulfillment of the customer will be necessary in order to grow. While there are small competitors that buy and resell this particular product, they don't pose much of a threat in expanded distribution. Also, the simple access I have to these bags, because of my connections in the Philippines, partnered with the social enterprise model of this business, provide Haven with a competitive advantage. In addition to this, Haven has a unique value proposition in that purchasing one product supports 2 social ventures. Whether you're trying to make a fashion statement on the streets or just someone who loves the story behind an item they use daily, Haven's got that product for you. I see these recycled bags as just the beginning, however. While Haven will always support local communities and their small businesses, my vision is that we eventually expand our product line and design bags, backpacks, inspired by the people we meet as our journey continues as a company. And creating a systematic way of selling the backpack, and the customer sponsors a kid and provides them with the supplies necessary to get through school and gives them a backpack and hope for a future. Today I'm asking for $1,000 to develop a website and for product purchases to invest in the first steps of this business. Thank you.
So I'll ask a question. Just want to make sure I understand. So,
Yes.
so you buy the bags from Philippines, and you sell them, and then the proceeds go back to pay for the school supplies and uniform, or so they go to school for free and already. This gives them the accessories they need to go to school.
Well, in the Philippines, on this particular island, there is like a small tuition cost that's incorporated into the value of like sponsoring a kid. So that goes to that, as well as the school supplies, school uniform.
Tuition also is a kind of
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
Okay.
So.
So you spent 8 years in the Philippines?
I spent 8 years in the Philippines, yeah, mostly middle school and elementary school.
Then you're 808, is that Hawaii?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's a long story.
Okay.
My parents are international teachers, and so I graduated high school from Hong Kong, actually, and so before that I lived in 5 or 6 more different countries. Yeah, but home is Hawaii, so.
Mahalo.
Yeah, thanks.
You supported over 100
Yeah, over the
kids so far?
Yeah, the first year was it started off as 92, and
That was a few years ago?
yeah, that was my junior year of high school. I'm a junior in college right now, and so really it was just those 4 years expanded, and we're now sponsoring 106. However, it's always been something that's happened. It works, but it's not until now that I really wanted to kind of form a business around like the passion and the vision. So I'm really excited to be able to do that.
How will you drive people to your website?
What's that?
How will you drive people to your website?
Drive people to the website. Mostly, honestly, through social media, just because it's creates a lot of different avenues. Facebook, Pinterest, all those different sales channels and opportunities to advertise. A lot of different companies that are more social enterprise advertise that way, and of course that with a company with this kind of mission, a lot of reposts and shares and likes kind of come with that. So social media would probably be the best option right now. Any other questions?
I've got a quick question about how they make the bags.
Yeah.
So maybe this is trash that they found in this when they got a process of cleansing and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, there's Manila is the capital of the Philippines, and there is a place called Smoky Mountain, which is essentially, yeah, I would love to share with you later. Thank you guys.
Okay, hi, my name is Sarah Smith. I represent Gypsy's Ghost, which is a nonprofit based in Nashville that where the voice of one becomes the power of a million. So who we are, we have several different programs, but today we're going to talk about Mabel and May, which is going to be a retail social enterprise. And we have 2 brands that we're working on, Will the Circle Be Broken and Alice Underground. So we mainly deal with issues of poverty, either spiritual, emotional, or physical poverty. The prevailing attitudes in the market, there's some examples. Right now, there's a push more for social capitalism. And so we want to do that, empower those with personal experience. Okay. Okay, so Mabel and May was inspired by a love of rock and roll, environmentalism, and historical preservation. It's an vintage-inspired boutique fashion company based in Nashville. We specialize in handcrafted jewelry, fashion accessories for men and women.
and home decor. And what we really want to do is to bring physical and digital media, the physical and digital worlds together, and provide like to build stronger connections. The mission of Gypsy's Ghost was we connect others in stronger communities, cope more effectively to issues of adversity. We want to change the world around us by changing the conversation of what poverty really means. Our target market is primarily women aged 20 to 35, and also men. Men are not really as profitable a sector, but it is growing, so we want to experiment a little bit more with products geared towards that. A lot of our target market are women who are from higher disposable incomes. They want to join the collective good. They want to buy like brands that do empower others in these social issues, but they take a passive role. A lot of items with being sold on market or sort of expensive, they'll range between, okay. So here's some examples of market. Okay, so our value proposition is we have a simple design. No two pieces are alike. We have salvaged materials.
What do you do? I mean, is it, so you're making jewelry?
We are. We are. I'm an artist myself.
Mm-hmm.
What happened was that I have experience dealing with poverty personally. Our organization, our parent organization, Gypsy's Ghost, the nonprofit portion of that, is really trying to
help with what you all do. Help people make money or profit for them. You know, I guess somehow financially help them. So
yes.
Okay, great.
We wanted to a lot of companies right now. They're doing projects with organizations like in other countries. I'm gonna try to say, okay. We wanted to empower the people that actually have experience being in poverty to create businesses themselves and to learn.
I got
trades.
you. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So you're gonna help people learn how to.
It's a lot to explain in 4 minutes.
That's
but
all
yeah.
that, yeah. Okay, great.
Thank you. I do. So what we're trying to do right now is get an industrial sewing machine. Through our suppliers, we partner with other nonprofits. One in Nashville is called Turnip Green Creative Reuse Center, where we just opened a studio. So we're renting space in their building. So we've got a lot of material right now on fabric from upholstery manufacturers, but our sewing machines can't handle it, or my sewing machine broke. Haven't been able to get samples, but I did design some jewelry. One of the projects, will the circle be broken? So So you have like Strings for Hope is one of our competitors, but they're not really unique designs. So ours is a little bit more distinct with what we do, and then we're also going to integrate that into a website, so it will have a special code on there engraved so that the user can like upload their story, and so that it's really meant to be shared and to pass around. And then all of this was salvaged industrial hardware.
How much of the nonprofit is operational right now? It looked like there were a lot of different pieces up there.
Right now, it's just myself that's running it. So the business right now would pay for a sewing machine. We're looking at about $1,500 for that in order to raise more funds so that we can support some of our nonprofit partners. So we have organizations like Oxfarm, Bonnery Works Fund, Global Citizen. And so we want to be able to raise some money so that we can support them and so that they can also partner with us. And we don't have so much expense ourselves of doing these programs, but we're finding partners that already do that well. And then we're figuring out what we can help them with. So. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Brittany Small.
And I'm Jael, and we're here to talk about Out Loud Group. But first, I want to tell you a story. That 2-year-old girl was on vacation with her family. They were renting a house, and they were very close from the sea, so they could even smell the ocean. One day, this girl was in the kitchen just playing, and she grabbed the oven handle to support herself because she was still learning to master the art of walking. When she did that, on the stove, there was a pot with boiling water. As she grabbed the oven handle, both the stove and the oven fell on her. And that boiling water burned her and left a significant scar on her. That baby was me. This experience marked my life. And our mind tricked us into thinking that we are the only ones going through something, when in reality, we're all going through something. And we just think that everyone else has it together, but it's not like that. In 2012, 1 in 10 Americans were diagnosed with depression. 80% of these people have not had any sort of help to deal with the issues causing depression. Tennessee happens to rank at the top of the list when it comes to adults dealing with depression.
And that's why Out Loud Group was created. Out Loud Group is an online support group for those who either can't afford therapy, they don't want to leave their homes, or they want to share their stories with others while remaining anonymous. What we plan to do is implement user profiles that are password protected, and what users can do is they can go on and join different subgroups based off what they're going through.
Out Loud Group comes at a time where 121 million people around the world are dealing with depression. But that's not the only issue. They're also dealing with loneliness, anxiety, going through unemployment, maybe going through a divorce, being bullied, and so many other issues. That's why we are committed to helping these people. And the way we're doing that is by bringing certified therapists to our website to moderate the conversations. Think of Out Loud Group as a Facebook with a purpose.
And in terms of our target market, we will be appealing to anyone who is 18 and older with access to a computer. Our main goal here is security and protecting our users' privacy, and how we intend to do that is by implementing a detailed agreement between each user and Out Loud Group that removes all liability from Out Loud Group. And then how do we make sure our users are going to be 18 and older? They will be required to sign an electronic agreement and provide a valid birth date that shows that they are indeed a legal adult.
Out Loud Group offers a unique service unlike any other offered right now. First of all, it's free. But second, we are a therapy website because we do have the counselors guiding our users step by step. But we're also a social media website because we're creating that sense of community for the users.
And then, although Out Loud Group is a free platform, we will be offering users the opportunity to access a premium membership for a fee. What this fee will get you is a face-to-face computer interaction. And then in addition, we will also be offering advertisers the chance to advertise with us.
This generation is looking to connect, but has never learned how to do that. That's why we are providing the medium for people to experience community while dealing with the issues they have been carrying on their backs for years. And today we invite you to join us in changing the world one user at a time. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have therapists, counselors identified now in Nashville?
We do have a company identified right now, which is Agape. They have a heart for social work, and so we're looking at people with that mindset that also want to counsel people, but mainly want to actually help them improve their lives.
What's the name of the company again?
Agape.
Okay.
What feedback have you gotten from therapists about the viability?
Can I say something?
Okay, yeah. No, you can answer it.
It's funny because the first thing therapist said is, you're going to leave us without a job. Because this is basically the future. People are not wanting to leave their houses. Sometimes they don't even want to share their identities. So with this, they have the opportunity of having a therapist, having that feedback, and not having to either leave their houses or share their identities, but receiving that unnecessary counseling.
And sometimes that type of therapy can take a while. Is there any model in place that would ensure people, I mean, it's difficult in the interactive world as well, but is there any model in place to encourage people to continue with therapy until a certain point is reached?
Well, we were thinking progress is going to show success, and basically what I mean by that is if user A is visiting therapist B and they're feeling better about themselves, they're going to be more liable to continue with that professional that they feel comfortable with. These issues, they're intimate, whether it's something that we would think is not, and it's all about loyalty and how comfortable they feel going back to someone, whereas talking to a stranger each different time.
And there's also a difference between counseling and life coaching, for example. When one takes you to action and to just changing something. With therapy and counseling, goes back to what happened in your life. I'm pretty sure you know this, but I'm just saying it just in case. It goes back to what happened in your life. And so I'm mentioning this because what you're asking is something that I asked myself when I was going through therapy. I was saying, okay, when am I going to see a change? What's going to happen next? Because I'm very action-driven. But this is something that they're going to see in their lives, and they're going to realize how their mindset is changing from maybe having thoughts of I'm not worthy enough, or I'm not enough, to going to a better place in their lives.
How much does it cost to build this?
Okay, so basically what we're going to start is having the website, with which we need to pay for the domain, and we need to pay for the designer to do that. I know how to do all that, so it won't be that expensive.
What do you think?
I'm thinking right now we can start with about $2,000. Thank you.
Oh.
All right, my name is Hannah Phillips, and I'm here to introduce to you Shoals Branch Farm. Shoals Branch is a bed and breakfast located on a 115-acre fully functioning farm, meaning its working operations include growth of livestock and produce for sale to the public. But this is not just a farm, and it's not just your average bed and breakfast. More accurately, it's called a farmstay, which, if you combine the two, it's a type of agritourism that allows tourists to come and take part in the farm activities, such as animal or crop care, handicrafts and entertainment, and cooking and cleaning. Shoals Branch is providing the opportunity for families and various groups of people to get out of the office and put the cell phone down and to connect with all that rural life has to offer. So I want to invite you to come and explore Shoals Branch and put yourself in the shoes of one of our adventurous guests. When you come into Shoals Branch, and you're going to receive a daily agenda of the things that are going on in the farm that you can help out with. Those activities could include milking a cow, collecting eggs from the chicken coop, gardening, picking or harvesting the seasonal crop. Our hired hands will be around to offer guidance and information to create a real hands-on educational experience. Our guests are welcome to stay for just the day, or they can stay overnight or a weekend getaway. We can host your special events, your birthday parties, corporate retreats, weddings. All of our facilities are disability friendly and smoke free. And in between the activities and farm work that's going on, there are time for leisurely activities such as walking the trails and swimming in the creek, zip lining, cooking classes, and at night, bonfires and stargazing. There are currently 8 other farm stays in Tennessee. The red star is where Fairview, Tennessee is, where Shoals Branch is located. The closest farm stay right now from Nashville is 2.5 hours away. Fairview, where Shoals Branch is located, is less than an hour's drive from downtown Nashville. Local Nashvillians and travelers through our Tennessee state capital will now be able to conveniently experience the value and enjoy of a farm stay. Another point that makes Shoals Branch different and more unique than the other farm stays is that we are partnering with the Veggie Project. And the Veggie Project acts as a host for farmers markets in urban inner city communities. We will provide the farm fresh eggs, fruits, and vegetables, and our goal with this partnership is to provide Nashville, to help make Nashville a healthier community by improving the access to organic foods in food desert communities. Our produce grown at the hands of our own farmers and our guests will be sold at a reduced price in these inner city communities, and whose closest grocery store is a Dollar General, where they sell canned fruits and veggies at best. The goal of the Shoals Branch products will be, we're offering them at that reduced price, so the residents will be able to have access to the healthier groceries, and they will stop also wasting precious resources driving to a Whole Foods or a fresh market. I understand that the farm, and also another point, good health shouldn't be out of reach financially or geographically. I understand the farm-to-table concept is not new, but it is a core value at Shoals Branch, and we just have the added bonus that you can play farmer for a day. It's a phenomenal way to work on team bonding, build unique memories with your family, and get involved in your local Middle Tennessee community. Thank you, and I invite you to come and visit Shoals Branch.
Annual revenue now?
We are currently renting the land to hunters. It's in the cleanup stages right now. That's what we're doing for hunters right now. That's the annual revenue. And it's not much.
How did you become involved?
It's our family's land, and it hasn't done anything in the past. Started out with my grandfather's land. It was tobacco farm, and then my father had it. It's a cattle farm. My father has since passed away, and I want to be a good steward of this land, and it's kind of just fallen into disrepair, so that's why hunters use it. So I want to give back to Williamson County community. I want it to be a place of education, but bringing people together and making a profit at the same time.
Where is this?
It's in Fairview, Tennessee.
Okay.
You can go 65 South, 840 near the Natchez Trace, or you can go downtown Franklin, Liebers Ford. Different ways to get there.
So if a bunch of kids want to milk a cow,
Yeah.
you bring them out there and,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just I always hear that, so I'm always wondering if that's what it'd be.
Say it again.
I'm always hearing little kids want to milk cows.
Yeah, you
and
can do that.
So it's, okay.
How many cows you got?
I don't have any right now. It's just an abandoned farm right now. There is a barn. That's where this money is going to go to the construction costs. There is currently a barn and a house, but it's condemned and in disrepair, and it needs to be taken down and rebuilt.
It sounds like you've given this a lot of thought. Do you have financials that show what it would take to rehab the farm and buy a cow?
I do not. The only financial research that I've done is how much it would cost per customer to stay the night, like what it compares to a bed and breakfast and what the other farm stays are doing, but not to buy a cow or to start the construction. I don't have a layout of what type of buildings I want to construct, so that's where I am with that.
You would need, sound like a staff, or at least some people there to
Farmers, yes.
Farmers,
Mm-hmm.
farmers, and help other people farm.
Yes. Any other questions? Okay. Well, and these pictures are also, well, they're not up there on your slides. They're actually from the farm itself.
What street is it on?
Prim Springs Road? Well, it's Prim Springs Road, and then it's Shoals Branch Road, so that's where the name comes from. Yeah. All right, yeah. No, it's not there. Oh, do you?
I don't think it's there.
Is it with Gary Sinclair?
No.
Okay. They're
It's pretty grand.
Yeah, it's gorgeous out there. Lots of other horse ranches out there.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys so much.
All right, guys, welcome. I just want to thank you guys for coming out. Entrepreneurship means a whole lot to me, and I would love to tell you guys about why my story has impacted why I'm here in Nashville, here at Lipscomb, and why I want to start this business. Frankly, we only have 4 minutes, so I'm going to get moving. So our goal at Natalie's Office Spa is basically to take care of the employee. Someone once told me that if you take care of your customers, they will take care of you as a business. Personally, I think that's true with employees. In my experience with work, I've seen how companies who invest in their employees, they actually want to stay longer, and those employees love what they do. So basically, you get two options. I'm going to be coming to companies. Companies saying this is an incentive to your employees, and you get two options. You can sign up with a membership at Natalie's Office Spa, which will be a small location, but once a month, your employees can come and take an hour massage once a month at this spa. Or we can come to you. We can say, okay, now these won't be hour massages because busy work life, you want to get things back to business. So we're going to do like 20 minutes. So for the time that we're there, we'll block it by the hour, but it'll be about 20 minutes. And depending on what the company wants, we'll work with their needs. This price, $2,500 a month. For a company, comes out to about $62.50 per employee. And that's a heck of a deal for a massage. So for an hour, this is what the employee is getting. Now with competitors, I'm a personally massage therapist licensed, and I just applied for my massage establishment license at an office someone gave me a space to use in Brentwood. So basically, the reason that other spas can't do this and why this is light years ahead of other spas is because, one, they can't afford to pay their employees enough as a spa to offer discounted massage. And the places that do are either their therapists aren't happy. I've been there. I've worked at Massage Envy, and not to hate on them, if they really take care of their employees and buy you lunch sometimes, it feels good. But guess what? I worked at the Omni, and I was there almost a year before I worked for Prudential Corporate Asia in Hong Kong, and I really saw how the employee matters, and I see that this isn't a big price. And because the company is paying for it, the employees are more likely to tip. And who doesn't want a good massage? This is my financial analysis. This is what it's going to cost. I want to pay my employees, my massage therapists, $20 an hour. This doesn't include tip, and tips can range around $10, $15, $20, sometimes $50, depending on the customer. Basically, with rent, the space, $1,000 a month, comes out to about a profit for the year of $66,000. I'm okay with that. I know that as we grow, that can be more, but basically thank you. This is what a spa treatment room would look like inside of our spa location. It's just a small place. My mother said start small, but the main thing is with those out calls, we can come to companies and say, all right, this is where they can come once a month, or if you want to choose a package where we'll come to you. This is important because as business people, we know we live busy lives and don't take time for ourselves. So as an employer, it's looking at, we want to take care of business. So let Natalie's Office Spa take care of you. With $1,000, I want to do a trial period. I want to stay. Like when Lyft came to Nashville, they said the first people that signed up, they're going to give out $500 worth of free rides. I'm going to give free massage. And as a massage therapist, I was taught not to do that, but this is going to jumpstart the business. If I go to companies, downtown Nashville, people are growing. These companies are going to see that this is valuable, and I'm going to let those services speak for themselves. That's the marketing. Thank you. Any questions?
So you've been doing this?
I have 2 massage therapists in mind and a list of companies I want to go to. I know I've had ideas with doing lounges. I definitely want to focus on the spa because this is what I know. Working in LA, I worked with tons of customers. Basically, all my clients were in the business field, and they only had about an hour of sleep. So I'm already, I got my license coming. I'm basically, working on getting, I had a personal website, but I really want to represent Natalie's Office Spa.
So you could do it here and you could do it in Los Angeles.
Yes, I can move there, bring a couple employees as we grow, and implement that there. I also would like to do satellite locations. Say if you have a healthcare company and you use that, I really like what these business companies are doing. Guess what? We'll open that up. And Vandy, I know, has a program that is going holistic because it's such a great, people are interested in it.
So $2,500 and that each employee gets one massage a month?
Yes, so if you just saw it there, this is saying an average. So we'll have companies that are bigger. That's $2,500 a month. You got 40 employees. That's what averages out for that hour.
And you assume that not everybody's going to utilize the service probably to make the numbers work?
Actually, don't assume that. If your company's paying for it, who would not get a massage?
I mean, if you put it out there,
What it comes down to is bigger employees. If I get to grow and I get a company that has 100 employees, that's making way more money, but it's also drawing in massage therapists. It's drawing in, it gets the buzz around the talk about working for a company like Google. I mean, no one wants to leave Google because it's too good to work there. And I want these companies to be more like Google, in a sense.
Did your financials account for all of your expenses?
Yeah. I'm sorry, it was a little bit small on these screens. Yes, I basically, because I already have my own equipment, I just acquired, I had someone in Kentucky, I traded for it. I massaged her and she gave me another massage table and a esthetician table. Everything's portable, so whenever we do go to the offices, we can bring massage chairs, tables. My therapists will also have their own private tables they will use. Won't be a problem. They don't have to adjust the heights and things. It's all catered to them as well as catered to the business.
Natalie, do you have prospect companies?
Yes. As Nashville grows, I would like to focus on companies like Pinnacle or different areas that have other locations, because then once the company is on board, or looking at whether it's in healthcare, primarily different businesses, but I have that list and I want to choose two, because I want to choose a larger one, a smaller one to do a trial run. And I have 2 employees, and that funding would go basically to paying them as well as the supplies. But obviously, that wouldn't, I've already accumulated my cost for like the rent and my table and other equipment like that. So I've already taken that into account. It'll basically just be paying them, working toward just going, I'm in a sole prop, moving toward LLC, those kind of things.
Are you working in Brentwood now?
Yeah, I had a chiropractic office open up me a space. It's connected in their building, and he offered it to me, and I said, okay. So I went ahead and applied.
I've got an idea for you after.
Okay, all right, thank you. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
So we are here today to talk to you about Hope Coffee House. First of all, I'd like to introduce you to a few people. This is Dylan and this is Maria. Dylan and Maria have a few things in common. Although they've never met, they both went to high school and they made really good grades, they studied really hard, and they were involved in extracurricular activities. However, neither one of them were able to continue their education past high school. They weren't able to go to college. Whether or not they felt that they couldn't afford it or they felt like they couldn't get the scholarships, they were not able to go. They lost a sense of hope. We introduce you today Hope Coffee House, the solution to their situation. As you can see in our mission statement that we created, we would like to create what we call stepping stones. These are faith, hope, and love, and that's what we build our coffee house on, and this is what we like to incorporate into our mission statement. A few statistics for you guys. There are currently 81,134 students enrolled in the Davidson County high schools. Of these, 72.4% are considered economically disadvantaged. In the United States, the graduation rate is currently 80%. Although that seems pretty high, that means that 1 in 5 students are not going on to graduate high school. That's pretty high. We can do better. The National Center for Education Statistics says that students from low-income families are 2.4 times more likely to drop out than middle-income families, and more than 10 times likely to drop out than those from high-income families. Socioeconomic backgrounds plays a huge role in whether or not a kid will continue to gain their education after high school.
At Hope Coffee House, we plan to implement an after-school program that caters to inner-city kids in the Nashville area. We're going to choose the applicants through the counseling systems at 2 local high schools to start out. We're going to use them to try to target some of the kids that may have slipped through the cracks. They're going to get a letter of acceptance to simulate getting into college. It gives them the idea that they can get accepted somewhere and they don't need to lose hope in that situation. They will sign a contract each semester saying they want to stay with our program and keep going. And this also teaches them how they need to keep their word and how others will keep their word too when you sign a contract. They'll meet with a mentor at least once a week. This mentor is a support system for them that they may not be getting at home, as well as someone to help them establish goals for themselves, goals that they may not be taught that they should have. They're going to be rewarded when they graduate the program and graduate high school. It's going to be a financial reward that's going to be a direct deposit to a college tuition. They have to meet certain requirements, such as a 2.5 GPA, graduate high school, as well as getting into college. They will earn it based on those requirements that I just said, and they'll also have to reach all of the goals that they set for themselves. These goals teach them self-reliance and the ability to keep their word. And as I said before, it's going to be a direct deposit so that you know that the money is going towards the college tuition. It's not going to be something that they pocket. And they're going to learn the ability to keep their word, to be accepted to something, and have a sense of hope that they can continue on. We want to be located in the East Nashville area, and we're going to be located next to public transportation so that the kids can get there without having to worry about their parents. Our customer base is going to be the coffee lovers of Nashville, as well as the Nashville Metro school systems. And we're going to get our revenues from coffees and home-baked goods that the kids are going to help us decide each week. This gets them incorporated into the business, and the customers of the coffee shop will be able to see the kids and know where their money is going. Maria and Dylan, if they had had one person supporting them that said, you can do it, you can go to college, maybe they would have had a different path. We invite you to help us at Hope Coffee House with a sense of hope and a cup of coffee, and to help these kids continue their education. Thank you.
Here, is it a coffee shop then?
It is. That's where the money is going to come from. The money for the.
What's there? Is it just like a regular old coffee shop?
It will be very simple, something that you can tell the kids helped us decide. It's going to be home-baked goods, just plain old coffee, maybe a few gourmet things, but it's more about the community than it is about a really expensive and fancy cup of coffee.
Okay.
So it's staffed by the high school aged kids, is that, maybe missed that?
Yes, they'll work there, but they'll also be under a mentorship program, so there will be other people working there as well who will also guide them.
So you have 2 schools picked out?
We're going to do to those 2 schools that go out of Bailey Middle School, and it's Maplewood and Stratford, I think are what they are. And I know someone who worked at Bailey, so we're talking to her to figure out where to go to get connected to the high schools.
So you have a space picked out in East Nashville?
Not yet. That's our next step, is to look for a space and figure out if we want to be in a retail center or, well, we have to look at public transportation, of course, so the kids can get there. So it's kind of has to be near the schools, so we're looking into that.
So it's going to be open after school because of your target of kids? Am I following?
Well, like the hours?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay. I think the hours would be a continuous, like regular coffee shop hours, maybe 8 to 11 p.m., but the kids will only come after school. So we'll have a staff other than the kids that are there to run it during the day.
So during the day, it's like a normal coffee shop?
Yeah, but it will be a sense of community, whether you're there when the kids are there or when the kids are in school. And hopefully the kids will be in school, because that's the point of the program.
I think that's it. Pretty good.
All right,
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for being here to listen to the next big thing. My name is Trevor Gormley, and alongside me is Daniel Sturdivant. We're excited to talk to you today about diddle. But first, we'd like to go into our company, Step Together, or solving the everyday problem together.
Now I'd like to talk about some market research we've done and the problems that our application is going to solve. Our recent survey of over 100 people has shown that the average person goes out to eat at least 3 times a week. And 90% of people can't decide where they want to eat over 75% of the time. And to us, that's a significant number and a significant problem that we found what we think is a simple and efficient way to solve. Have you ever found yourself being indecisive with a client or a business associate, or arguing friend and family member, bickering about where you want to eat? I don't care, you pick, no, you pick, back and forth, so on. Ultimately, you wind up accommodating that person. And accommodating might not sound like a bad thing, but when you accommodate someone, you're sacrificing your wants to fulfill the wants of the other person. So instead of accommodating, we've developed an app that'll help you collaborate, where you work together and benefit mutually off the decision.
So if you would please, you have a device in front of you that you can select open. And if you look at the top left side of the app, there's actually a menu button. If you would please hit that. The top left, yeah. And if you select profile for me, now that shows Trevor Gormley as the profile, which is me, obviously. But on the top right of the hand screen, you see the preferences that I have, which are shown on the right-hand side. But below that, to the left-hand side, you see my connections. And it's kind of like a LinkedIn or Facebook type of thing. Now, if you could please scroll down to that connections page and hit Jeff K., who would hypothetically be traveling in from New York tomorrow. And I really don't know where to take him to eat. So as the judges see, I apologize for not everybody being able to see this, but as the judges see, you see a compilation of your profiles together. Now you can see the preferences that you have, and along with that, you can see the preferences that your colleague has. And our goal for this is that we compile both of the databases, and based on your preferences and another party's preferences, you will be able to compile a restaurant to be able to find in Nashville. Now if you hit the diddle button at the top part of the screen, the diddle it button, you see the restaurant that would pop up that would show you what restaurant you should go to and what you can compile together as what you would like to enjoy between you and another party. So this can go for family or business people, as Daniel will explain.
As Trevor pointed out, this is the business side of it. So this would be a business-like profile that people can use. We're also going to set it up where there's profiles for couples or college students. Those are our next target markets we're going to approach. Our competitive analysis has shown that we're fairly unique. The closest competitors we have are Urban Spoon's Spin Widget, the Random Food Generator, and the Random Pick a Meal. But these things don't offer the customization that caters to someone's individual preferences.
So the unique profile aspect, everybody has a profile that they want to get to, but we really want to focus on the reward system and the complete package of a one-stop shop. So some of the revenue streams here, we see the 4 up here, and it says selling preferences by location and premium version for out-of-state people. Our cash flows show that an estimated of 3 years, $230,000 in revenue, with an estimated cost of $69,000, with a break-even point on year 2, and a net profit of a 3-year of $160,000. So what have we done so far? We've built an LLC. That's already done with. We've developed a working model that you have been seeing here, and in the process of creating another application already. We push to solve the everyday problem. And what do we get if we win this? We're going to use the mentorship that we get from the EC effectively. We're going to continue development for the applications interface, and we're going to reach out to restaurants to test the beta in which you are seeing right now. Thank you, and we're open for questions. Pardon? So there's a premium version, there's a free version. For people in Nashville, if you're looking to go out with Betsy here, and you too can compile your profile absolutely free. Now the restaurants, and this is where we're talking about the revenue stream, the restaurants will be paying for the use of the customer. So our OpenTable charges $650 for a setup fee, and then a $250 monthly charge to be able to use their app. So that's the kind of model that we're looking at as far as revenue stream is concerned.
How does the restaurant benefit? I guess I see what I see on the consumer side. It helps you decide which restaurant to go to. But
The incentive for the restaurant to sign up initially is that if you have clients that are coming in from out of state, they're getting recognition from restaurants like Jim and Nick's, who is only in the South. If you have somebody from the North coming in, they don't know about Jim and Nick's, so they don't necessarily know whether or not to go there if they have good food or not. So this database is letting us allow the restaurants to be able to connect with other people from the Northeast or the South or the West.
And they can almost also benefit from the information we gather. So like people's preferences, if you see that X amount of people in this area like barbecue, then we can sell that information to a barbecue restaurant and say, you really need to open up this restaurant in this location because you're gonna profit.
So what's y'all's favorite restaurants?
I was an assistant manager at Jim and Nick's. I have many connections to the restaurant industry. So this is something that they've been looking for as well. So that's where we really see the point. But Jim and Nick's, hands down, is kind of my favorite southern barbecue restaurant. I'm from the West Coast, so.
I'm a big fan of the Cheesecake Factory around here. Can't get enough of that.
Could your product solve other problems?
Yes, potentially.
So we really want to hit on the point that it's not just for business people, but for couples. Actually, my girlfriend sitting over here, she called me one night when we were in the finance lab here at Lipscomb, and she called me. She's like, "Sweetheart, what do you want to do for dinner tonight?" I'm like, I don't know. Don't give me this. So I think the problem of solving of the couples is our biggest niche past when we start getting these business client to client. Our second app that we're developing is called You Think, and it's really to strive to get people to put down their phones for 5 minutes and think about something that they don't think about on a regular basis. So we have multiple apps that we're developing currently, but this is our first one that we want to throw out to the market.
And to add on to that, we're also going to add activities onto this and transportation services. So it'll be a one-stop shop eventually for dates or for nights out for anybody. So other.
Where did we go to dinner? I think I believe we went to Noodles and Company.
Did she call you boo, poodle?
Boo, baby, sweetheart. I don't know. Any other questions? Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Thanks for your time.
I'm Katie Currie.
And I'm Katie Collier.
We're here to introduce Change for Change. There are more sites today in 2014 than have ever been. This is in the form of sex trafficking. Currently, there are 20.9 million victims of human trafficking. To put this into more of a local perspective, that there are 94 children sex trafficked per month in the state of Tennessee alone. 1/3 of all runaway children will be picked up within the first 48 hours to be sex trafficked, and even if police know about this, which oftentimes they do, they're minors, and so they're then returned home, where 85% of them have been abused, and the cycle repeats itself.
So what do? Well, Chains for Change wants to support a safe house for children rescued out of sex trafficking here in Tennessee. And we want to do that through the production and selling of jewelry. And we'll handcraft each piece and imprint it with the number 20.9 to represent and remind customers of the number of slaves in the world today. And while Katie and I are currently making the jewelry, we hope to partner with local colleges and get some of the students to design and produce the jewelry so they can receive some service credit, but also we get free labor. And so we also want to offer up this 20.9 t-shirt to raise awareness for our cause for sale, but also offer it as a gift to customers who purchase a certain amount of jewelry to promote purchase.
Why now? Linda and Bill Gates are currently beginning to get behind funding for the laws to be changed to where if the parents don't report their kid is missing, which happens a lot in these cases, that they don't have to be returned to that home, so there needs to be somewhere for them to go. And currently in America, there are only 2 safe houses for children. One's in Miami and one's in Hollywood. And so there's a huge need for one in this area, and just a perfect time to act.
So a shelter for 8 children costs about $40,800 annually, and that includes rent, clothing, academic fees, 24-hour workers, and meals. And so we intend to initially sell our jewelry for $15 to $40, depending on the piece. And so that puts us at about 1,500 pieces that need to be sold annually to be 100% self-sustaining, which we would like to be. And our primary target, our target customer, are women, and initial adopters are going to be those who are more drawn to our cause, but we plan to make our jewelry trendy and affordable enough for it to sell on its own, regardless of the cause. And the benefit of marketing to women are that they make up 91% of all household purchases and amounted to $20 trillion in global consumer spending this past year. And so similar organizations that offer a service to sex trafficking victims are Mercy Ministries and Thistle Farms here in Nashville. However, they're more geared towards women than children, and the process can be somewhat selective to get a place in the home.
We will market to local boutiques as well as the local location of Nordstrom. I worked there and know the store manager and went to Nordstrom. And if we could have our merchandise at the counters, then that could look great for their company to be supporting such a national cause, and it could be huge for us. As well as local get-togethers such as Cable. They have a huge Lunch for Women every month, and Rescue One,
which is an anti-trafficking organization that has conferences here in Nashville, and we could set up a booth and sell our jewelry there. So the team is currently at Katie's, and I, Katie, graduated from Lipscomb University with a Bachelor's of Science degree in biology.
And I went to the University of Tennessee. My major was special education, and now I'm both currently enrolled in the Master's of Management program here.
So we plan to launch this subsequent to graduation in August, but we need your help for that. So we are asking for $1,000 to, in turn, help Chains for Change break the chains of slavery, change lives forever, and one day make that 20.9 less. Thank you.
So it's awareness you're doing? You're not zeroing in on the people doing this? You're not helping do that?
No, we plan on funding the safe house.
Okay. Okay. And what all comes with that? What are you aware of what all happens in that?
In the safe house?
Yeah.
We are still looking into the psychiatrist and all the
high security psychologist.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, there's a lot comes with that, so
Yes.
that's what I'm asking.
Yes, we are still researching
All that's
that.
included in those $40,000. That's
Not the
for a
psychiatrist.
year's worth of care. And so with $1,000, where does that immediately get put to use? Is it getting people to help you make the jewelry to sell, or marketing, or how?
To making the jewelry. We currently we've made these pieces as an example. However, we are still in the production stages. So.
Do the laws allow for children to be in a safe house? I have no awareness of what the laws are.
Well, what she was explaining, you can go ahead.
Bill Gates is getting behind funding for where if they don't report their kids as missing, then they don't have to be, and so it leaves room for them to then come into a safe house. So that's why it's
Where would they not be reporting them? In America?
The parents are not reporting the children as missing.
In America?
Yes. Yes, sir.
A lot of these cases, 85% of them are abusive homes.
Is there room in the custodial rules of Tennessee for a safe house to harbor children?
I'm sorry, can you rephrase the question?
Very often now children would go into custody of DCS or whatever the equivalent is in other states.
Well, the issue is a lot of them cannot be rescued because there's nowhere to put them. Mm-hmm. And so I've thought about looking into government support because they need these homes for these children. And currently they are sending them back home where they are just being abused. And so that is the issue. I'm not entirely sure of the question, I think, but also I think...
Reflection of my own ignorance, I don't know how to ask it more precisely.
There's a lot to it, and that, I think
Yeah.
that is why there's such a huge gap, is because they're minors, and so that's why there are so many for women, because it's less confusing, but with the laws about to change, and I mean, we'll get more facts as that happens to exactly what those laws are, but if we could have this, at least in production, and be ready for that when it comes time.
And I personally have worked with Rescue One at my church, and what we do is we go out to the local community to motels where they're pretty sure that this sex trafficking is going on, and report back to the police, and the police have told them the issue is that there aren't places to take these women and children, and so the police are in on it and aware of it. There's just nowhere to take them, so that's the great need.
Hello, my name is Zach Warrick. I'm with Ignite Tutoring, and I want to tell you a story today. I worked last summer with an organization that specializes in tutoring students with learning differences, like dyslexia and autism spectrum. These students often have a major hurdle in their way when it comes to subjects like reading comprehension. Their difference holds them back in the classroom. And I worked with a student who we'll call Jane. And Jane had a problem on her hands. Her reading comprehension level was below grade level. She was worried she couldn't go on to the next grade, that she couldn't succeed, couldn't meet class and teacher expectations. Over a course of 2 months of intensive specialized training, we brought Jane up to grade level in her reading comprehension, which is exceptional for a student struggling with learning differences as severe as hers was. In addition, we increased her reading comprehension vocabulary by a decade. Tutoring works for students with learning differences. I've also worked with students who may be generally good to go academically, but have one weak subject area that they can't handle, like math or science. I think many of us have been there. Their GPA and their confidence takes hit after hit. They start worrying about what they're going to do after school with their college careers. Tutoring works for these students as well, but we have a problem on our hands. A lot of students in Tennessee, whether they have learning differences or just struggling academically in certain areas, aren't maximizing their potential in the classroom. At Ignite Tutoring, we offer the solution to this problem. Our mission is to provide innovative, highly personalized tutoring and enrichments for students from all walks of life. How do we do this? Academically, we focus on 2 areas. Students who are struggling with learning differences, who require specialized curriculum, with so dyslexia, autism spectrum, differences like that. In Tennessee, there are 127,000 students currently drawing special education. Of that, 47,000 have diagnosed learning differences, and that's a low estimate. There's a big market here and a big need. In addition, we work with students who have subject area weaknesses like math, science. They're just needing a little boost to get them through the day. Our highly trained staff designs curriculum specifically for each student and works with them especially outside the classroom to maximize their potential. In addition, we want to be cost effective. A lot of our competitors have high price ranges, and students are prohibited from working in that environment simply because they don't have the financial wherewithal to go in for the tutoring. We work with our students where they are, whether that's on-site at our facility, our learning facility, or off-site in public places like libraries, coffee shops, even partnering with local schools. We also offer extracurricular enrichments to round out a student's education to teach them the kinds of skill sets they may not get in the classroom. These enrichments include music, dance, theater. Think about the kind of skills you learn in these non-academic areas, things like discipline, teamwork, time management, creativity, confidence. Ignite wants to bring that out in the student as well. At its heart, Ignite is a social venture based out of Nashville, Tennessee. Our goal is to provide for students who may not have the financial ability to get the tutoring they need. We do this through the Spark Fund, which is a scholarship program for students who have demonstrable financial needs in our community. How do we fuel the Spark Fund? Through our community of learners. A portion of all of our profits goes back to the fund. So every time a student learns, they're also providing for the learning of another student as well. Let's talk about competition. Currently in the Nashville area, there are other organizations that offer academic tutoring similar to what Ignite would offer, though certainly not as specialized as we plan to offer. Currently, there's only one organization in the state of Tennessee that provides for students with learning differences, and that is Linda Mood Bell, and they're actually based out of Memphis at this time. The YMCA offers academic and enrichment services, again, not quite at the scale Ignite would like to bring to the classroom. Ignite offers all 3 and provides for students no matter where they are. So, our team would love to talk to you afterward. We're part of Lipscomb Master of Management Program, Kiana Hastings, Warren Thomas, and myself. We bring a lot of skills to the table. But we need you to partner with us so we can move forward with Ignite and work on research and development in our curriculum. So, thank you very much. Are there any questions? There's always the pause, the do we applaud pause.
I may have missed it, but how do you finance the effort?
Through our tutoring and enrichment services. Those are per hour fees structure.
Okay, I thought it said it was totally free.
No, I'm so sorry. That's not correct. We charge for our services. The Spark Fund is actually a subsidized service, which means that students will still pay a percentage of the tutoring. There's a lot of studies that show it becomes a reward system if money is actually given over. There's more buy-in. It'll just be a significantly reduced rate through the Spark Fund.
Zach, where's the tutoring done?
We plan on rolling out with satellite tutoring, which means we'll meet at public locations like libraries and coffee shops, partnering with schools. And the goal is to begin generating revenue that way to begin planning and eventually plant a facility here in Nashville. And then, of course, we'll continue those services on-site and off-site.
Will the tutors be paid?
They will, yes.
And you can do the dyslexia part in a coffee shop or something?
Certain portions of that can be done,
okay.
yes.
Right. So you can start off there and go somewhere else, a library or something, and deal
Right.
with it.
And there are study rooms, depending on who you partner with as well.
Okay. What are you thinking price-wise?
Competitors charge, depending on the service, between $35 to $113 for some of these services. Specifically, learning different services are very expensive.
An hour?
An hour, yes. Learning services for students with learning differences range in $100 on average. So the goal would be to be cost competitive while also having enough margin to pay for what we need to pay for.
Zach, where did you get your passion for this?
I was an undergraduate here at Lipscomb, history and philosophy, and I began tutoring college students and then branched out to tutoring high school students, and last summer worked with an organization that teaches students with learning differences. And I have a background with that kind of student group as well. And so it was sort of a light bulb moment to realize a lot of students can't afford this kind of service, but they desperately need it to succeed. So that's where sort of the idea for Ignite came from.
You might have said as well, but what age students do you plan to target?
Depending on the services, we would range from early elementary through high school. A lot of times reading comprehension, especially with students with learning differences, has to start in the elementary level or they're too far behind.
Can you earn enough money only in the after-school hours to support this venture?
I believe so, yes. There's still some evaluation of capital that goes into that and evaluating cost structure in those hours too.
Is there a definition around learning differences, or anybody who's sort of behind on a particular subject, or is there a clinical thing?
There is the state of Tennessee has a specific definition for learning difference that they do their statistics for the Department of Education. That's where that 127,000 number comes from. That's then broken down into other subcategories. Actually excluded from those categories are autism spectrum and pervasive developmental disorder, PDD, although those can be directly connected to learning delays in the classroom. So
you focus just on those students?
The demographic is actually wider than Tennessee's Department of Education necessarily labels it. I would evaluate it as being a far greater spectrum. Thank you very much.
In the beginning, I thought people who really needed help only lived in other countries. I never thought to look for them here in my country, my state. However, I've come to realize that third world countries in the U.S. face the same problem, just disguised differently. In other countries, people are clearly dying of starvation, but here, they're dying of malnutrition. Hello, my name is Ivanna Johnson. I'm in the Master of Management program, and I intern at the Second Harvest Food Bank.
My name is Kaela Vaughn, and I graduated Lipscomb University with a Bachelor of Science in Biology.
And here's our idea, the cornucopia.
America is the most obese nation in the world. The U.S. News Health reports a whopping 33% of Americans are obese. This study determined that there is a high correlation between childhood obesity and poverty. As you can see, the less money a family makes, the more likely the children are to be overweight or obese. One major contributor to this is the unavailability of nutritional meals. As Americans, we love to eat out at restaurants. However, how much do we really know about the food that we're putting into our bodies? This study determined that the average adult restaurant entree contains about 1,500 kilocalories and 28 grams of saturated fat. These numbers should be cut in half. In addition, our diets are tainted with overprocessed ingredients and preservatives. It's clear that we are not getting the nutrition and the quality of food that our bodies need. However, here's where we can make a difference. By offering our people healthy, quality, nourishing meals at reasonable prices, and by educating them on the importance of nutrition in their lives.
We want to open a farm-to-table restaurant in the Hermitage Mount Juliet area that will be affordable to the middle and lower income levels. It will be a connection center where we can connect our customers to the local farms in their area. Basically, we want to make healthy food more accessible by making it more affordable. The design for our restaurant will be the laid-back atmosphere of a cafe with the layout of a Cracker Barrel, the restaurant-store combination. The store will feature local produce, kind of like an indoor farmer's market. This makes eating healthy even easier. If you like what's featured on the menu, you can also pick it up on your way out the door. This model tackles the three biggest problems people have with eating healthy: accessibility, affordability, and lack of ideas as to what to do with produce. Our social mission is to raise awareness in the community about dietary health through education and by offering opportunities for sustainable choices. We can use education by partnering with the center, particularly a public community neighborhood. This could be by offering nutrition courses or healthy snacks. Once the community has been educated as to the need for nutrition, we can bring in a couple sample items from a menu and record the feedback. If there's sufficient interest, we can use some of the funds from our restaurant to purchase a food truck that can make healthy food accessible to this community. We would only charge this community enough to cover our operational and preparational costs. In this way, we don't run the risk of hurting our business by losing money, but at the same time, we can make healthy food accessible to those who need it the most. A question I get asked a lot is, well, how financially realistic is it to enter the restaurant industry? Projected sales in Tennessee for this year alone is $10.1 billion. In the US, it also continues to rise by billions. Top 4 trends right now are locally grown produce, environmental sustainability, healthful children's meals, and farm-to-state branded items, all of which we offer. What makes us different from our competition is our affordability, our desire to connect our customers to local farms, and to raise awareness in the community. Here's a summary of our presentation, and thank you for allowing us to present our idea, the cornucopia, with you.
When can we start eating?
Right now.
Ladies first.
The idea is that you could do this anywhere, a community center, or it's not a brick and mortar restaurant, it's sort of a mobile.
Our idea is, we want to make healthy food accessible to both middle as well as the lower income. So for the middle income, like the Hermitage Mount Juliet area, we would have an actual restaurant that we would make profits out of. But if we find enough interest through our feedback with a public housing community, then we can use some of the funds from our restaurant to buy a food truck, and we would only charge that community enough to cover our operational costs.
I see. Okay. So the brick and mortar restaurant is a profitable enterprise theoretically, and then the not-for-profit, sort of where you just charge your overhead. You do that outreach in communities.
Yes.
I get it. I don't have any questions. I'm good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't think straight.
Yes, we would love feedback. We made this all at scratch, so.
Mm.
Yes. Okay, also.
Do y'all have a dietitian background at all?
No, I was molecular biology.
It was biology. So, I mean, we have some
They're smart enough to handle it, probably.
organic chemistry, things like that.
Go on in.
What do we have here?
Well, those balls, they have cheese and rice, and then you have breaded zucchini and cauliflower with a corn souffle. In the middle, you have marinara sauce. Over
That's
there, it's called a huancaína sauce, which is a special sauce, and then you have those things you dip it into. And then over here, those are pastries that are filled with guava and cheese.
This is healthy. So we can eat this.
Yes. Yes.
And we encourage you to try
Not just a prop.
the coconut-based drink as well.
So far, you get the fat guy approval. I mean, it's really good.
All fried.
Wow. You better get some of those. Whoops.
It's
Pop that in there. There you go. It's disappearing. I'm trying to.
We also have some sample menus of items that we would like to. Some of them are actually what you see before you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here in a minute.
That is a
Put 'em up. What's this stuff in the middle?
It's called huancaína sauce. It's a
What's in it?
it's a
Secret family recipe.
It's all mayonnaise. It's
We
not
can
all
put a label
mayonnaise
to
or
our
anything like
restaurant.
that, is it?
They keep talking about all this food.
I know. We know you love our food, Joe. Ivey. Go for it. There's plenty.
Oh, what do they got over there?
They have all kinds of exotic things over there.
Artichoke vegetables. What's up?
Breaded cauliflower, and if you want to put some on your plate, we'll trade.
It's a good place to put this.
Oh, man.
Feel free.
What is what?
What are these?
Give some books. I'll take what books to get to read.
So who here has ever had a run-in with an unpleasant public restroom? This is totally unacceptable.
Oh.
My name is Kevin Loftus. I'm the CEO of a startup company, Instigate.io, and this is Benjamin Reed, CTO of Instigate.io, and we present to you the Urban Throne. The Urban Throne is an application that facilitates user-generated reviews on public restrooms to guide users to companies that have clean restrooms. Upon opening the app, it defaults to your current location and shows locations nearest you alongside the ratings. When you click on the location, it shows an expanded view of the reviews, and then gives you the option to check in and leave your own review. A couple of features I want to highlight that we're going to include in our launch copy is the SOS feature. So with a shake of your device, it'll automatically route you to a clean bathroom near you for those emergency situations. Another feature that I want to highlight is our certification program. Our certification program allows businesses to sign up and promote their business through our app. And in turn, it brings customers directly to their doorstep. In analysis of our competition, we found that any competition we had, we far outnumbered them in features 10-3.
Our business model is relatively simple. We decided to go ad-free for the first 6 to 12 months while we build up a sufficient user base, and then introduce our ad program with 2 types of ads: order-based ads and then check-in promotions, which are an extension of our certification program. We also hope to make money off of data mining. And so, for instance, a user can go to Shell, and then go to Kroger, and then go to BP. And BP could buy that data of where that user went and see, hey, that user wrote a bad review about Shell. So that's my competitor. I can use that. And right there, you have poorly data. Also, by mapping out every restroom that we can across the United States, we have priceless location data that can be used for new concepts and new map startups.
So to gain a little information about who would be interested in our application, we made a survey and sent it out to 71 random students on the campus. And that, what you just saw, was the breakdown of who we surveyed. And what we found was we asked them, did they own a smartphone or a tablet, and every single one of them did. And of those, 79% were using iOS, and 20% of those were using Android. We also asked them what was the most unpleasant experience out of these categories. What we found was that 58% of those said that an unpleasant restroom was very unpleasant, was the most unpleasant. And also we asked, what would be the likelihood that they would be excited about an app like this? And 61% said yes.
So technology-wise, we built on technologies that let us scale. And because we are using credit cards for our advertisement program, we are using technologies that make us PCI compliant. And if you have any questions about the technology, I'm definitely open and available to answer them.
We'll be available on the App Store and Google Play, and we hope to launch January 1st.
So the app is at least being built.
Yes, so we have the core features of it on the back end created, but our user interface is still kind of glitchy, and so we're still working on that.
Yeah, our initial app was built at Hack Nashville, which is an event where all the tech community comes together and we try and throw something together in 48 hours. So we managed to throw together a back end in Ruby on Rails and an Android app and an iOS app in the 48 hours. So they're pretty glitchy. But we've since moved our back end over to a more stable Node.js, which we think will let us scale. And we're planning to re-implement
What about, how many people use the bathroom that much?
Well, with the holiday season coming up, millions of people are going to be traveling. And so, given that a family is about 3 or 4 people, that's about 4 bladders per car.
Yeah.
And so, if you extrapolate that out, there's going to be a lot of potty breaks in between wherever they're going.
And one of the neat things that sets us out above a competitor is that we actually let you plan out a route and map the nearby places. So you can find the best ones and you don't go to one where you leave thinking you might have caught some kind of deadly disease.
Okay.
Sometimes simple apps that are very easy to use do better. What features have you added that your competitors don't have, and why?
So we've added our SOS feature, which is basically you just shake it, and then it automatically directs you to a clean restroom. So what you'll do is you'll set a threshold. Say, I want something 3 to 4 stars at the minimum with my SOS feature. So you just shake it, and then an algorithm will process that and take you to the nearest one of your given parameters.
Have you flushed out any other ideas we can use this?
So actually, we were trying to find beta testers.
Yeah.
And we actually named them the plungers, and they're going to work out the clogs.
How do you incentivize people to go right with you? You really don't have anything until you get some critical mass.
Right.
Well, so you got some gamified system in there.
Right. So we were gonna.
Sorry.
You go.
Here is what really makes us stand out. Our competition,
Is there competition?
there is one,
Yeah.
but they rely entirely on users to populate all the bathrooms. We don't. We're actually using crawlers to crawl all the popular chains like McDonald's and Shell and everything, and we're populating with thousands of bathrooms on launch.
Right.
Well, Jerry, it was, as you could tell from the amount of time that it took, that was an awfully tough decision that our judges had. But I want to thank David and Chase, Betsy, and Scott one more time for their work. They have worked awfully hard. And what's going to happen is the next time I send them an email asking them to do something, I'll never get a reply from them again because they have given us a lot of time tonight, and we certainly do appreciate it. It was a really tough decision. I was very impressed with the pitches. I know you were in talking about it. And so we've got 5 finalists here. These finalists are able to go directly into the final on the pitch competition on the what day of April? Whatever that first Wednesday is.
First Wednesday in April.
First Wednesday. If you're not in the top 5, there is still another consolation round that you can get in on the Monday before that. The top 5 are going, we've got certificates here for $1,000. They will not cash until you come and give them to us, but we...
Well, it's not a consolation round.
It's not, well, yes.
It's a qualifying round.
It's a qualifying round, excuse me.
It's not consolation,
yeah,
it's qualifying round.
That was the word I meant, but it's past my bedtime, okay? So, so it's a qualifying round. These 5 have buys into the finals, okay? How about that?
Gotcha, there we go.
So here are the 5. Hannah Phillips and the farm.
Hannah, come on up.
Oh yes, we that's right. And, yay, Hannah. That's $1,000. You can go buy a cow, okay? Huh?
Hannah, stay right
over. The next one, Ivanna Johnson and Kaela Vaughn. There we go. Let's see. Jael, Teme, and Brittany Small. There we go. We have 2 more groups left here. Zach Warrick, Lauren Thomas, and Kiana Hastings. Here we go. There we go. I thought Kiana held the money. I didn't know. And then our final finalist for tonight, Natalie Gilbert. I have this kink right. Oh, excuse me. All right, these are our finalists. I'm going to tell you, though, folks, y'all did a superb job. Amen. You really did. And if we had had more slots, we would have had more finalists because they were just that close. If some of you want to talk with the judges, they'll be around for just a little bit. And also, if you want to talk some more about the qualifying rounds, they'll be around. We'll be able to talk about that, especially right after the break. And we'd love to have that conversation as well. Thank you very much. Jerry, how do you want to end it?
Good night. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. Thank y'all. Good night.
Thank all of you. You were great.